Let's don't let a good thing die.
So do you believe in aliens now, after all of this research?
I think they walk among us, and I think that some of you know. I think we're all familiar with some of them. I think they're right here with us, and we just don't know who they are.
The conspiracy theory is that they lit those houses on fire on purpose with direct energy weapons, and if you had a blue house, with a blue ceiling, that the blue ceiling would somehow reflect against this energy weapon and stop your house from burning.
No way.
Oh yeah. Not only that, but they used, because Biden did some speech, and in his old kind of senile way, he was talking about how some houses survived because they had the right roof. And everybody's like, see, it's the blue roof.
That's all it takes.
So conspiracy theorists literally painting their roofs blue.
Oh, tiptoe through the window, by the window.
That's a dude.
That is where all becomes tiptoe.
Thoughts in my head, the places I touch when lying in bed, the visions that feel the words that you said or do. My heartbeat buried in the ground, and truest strings I bind your bound, so when you sleep you'll hear my sound.
Oh man, things like this make me feel a little bit better about not being able to afford going to a concert. What up, my good people? Back at it again with a brand new video for you. Right now, we're gonna kick back and watch the creepiest TikToks I could find this week. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and without further ado, let's jump right back into it.
What kind of candle is it? I ain't never seen no candle this in my entire life. We won't never buy one of these no more. It's frying like we frying chicken. I have no idea. Whatever kind of candle this is, don't buy it.
Let's party with them.
Fuck it. Okay, extraterrestrial. We partying with the extraterrestrials out here.
Actually, how it's going to work, if you go do research on AGI or any AI, you'll realize that once it hits that curve, it'll reach something called ASI, which is artificial superintelligence, within a few minutes. We're not even ants compared to it in intelligence. We can't think ahead of it. It's figured out every scenario. It sees every possible reality. And if it wants to end us, it can end us in a day. Every country in the world right now thinks that whoever reaches AGI first controls the world. The truth is, you can't control something that's a million years ahead of you. Second of all, let's just say you do, and that's the 1 in a million chance. You now have one person holding on to the most powerful thing in the world.
Nope, I just caught them. They're caught. That is not the plane. That's not the plane. I've seen that plane before. You think that's the plane that crashed today in San Diego? Nope. So let me just show you this news station that's claiming to have a picture of the plane that crashed. So if you want to see where that plane is actually from, it's about a year ago, April 29th, 2024, and it's this plane right here. So if they're trying to show a plane from 2024, then where's the actual plane, if there was one? Because this is that same exact picture. Funny too how ABC News is claiming to have found airplane parts. You know how easy it would be to just toss something in the road and take a picture of it? Why is it the only thing that's not burnt? Why is it that an alleged airplane piece is the only thing that's not burnt when the entire road is burnt up, including houses, cars, everything, but the airplane itself didn't get burnt? But I want to see a real picture of this plane. Just because a plane crashed, it doesn't just disappear. It's still gonna be there. I want to see some pictures of this plane.
What in the world? It's like the Pentagon attack in 2001 when the plane pulverized, but they found passports.
Now, I don't know what led up to this point, but the deer had time that day. Now, as y'all know, I live in the sticks, Never in all my years of life have I ever seen a deer, especially a female one, attack anybody. Hell, deer are the first ones to haul ass. So this right here is a complete and total shocker to me. I have so many questions. Like, was she messing with the baby? Because you see it run across the screen there. And then, is that a man's voice I hear in the video? Is he the one recording? If so, why did he not step in to help? Why didn't nobody step in to help? Because this right here is awful. I hope that lady's okay, but I don't know, y'all. I don't think I could ever live it down that a deer gave me that left hoof, right hoof special, because it's stomping the mess out of her like she owes the deer money. I'm gonna need this deer on the next season of Baddies ASAP. Has anybody else gotten their ass handed to them by a deer? I'm trying to see how common this phenomenon is.
DJ Avicii tried to warn all of us, and it cost him his life. For those who may have forgotten, here's his biggest hit. He was so talented that he's often regarded as one of the best, if not the best DJ in the world. Born Tim Bergling, he stepped into the music scene at just 17 years old, but he never stopped. It wasn't long before he started to be overwhelmed by his managers, working non-stop, even during his hospitalization. But that wasn't the worst of it. Throughout his career, he repeatedly exposed child trafficking, particularly in Hollywood, often explicitly through his music videos. Watch this particular clip. It quickly becomes clear who he was targeting. Then, in March 2018, just a month before his death, the track Dun Diddy leaked. Even footage from his studio session surfaced. When you listen to the lyrics, there's little room for doubt. He tried everything to warn us, but we didn't see it.
Avicii is not the only one. He's just one of many. It seems like everyone who tries to expose Hollywood ends up meeting their maker way too soon.
There would be no gun battle, no laser beam battle. They would just analyze the genetic makeup of the people. They would sprinkle something in the atmosphere and in the water, and they'd wait about 3-4 months, a year, or whatever. They'd come back and we'd all be gone. Right. Too easy. Yep. There's no fighting, not at that level of consciousness. Not, as a matter of fact, what they would give us might even disintegrate our bodies, so they have no cleanup.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The following home security footage comes from a woman who just wants help identifying what happened over her home. It was a typical afternoon. Rain had just stopped when suddenly she said it sounded like a sonic boom went off and then these flashes of lights. And this is what they captured on the home security camera.
Luckily, no one was injured. Meanwhile, the guy in the front was falling for 40 days and 40 nights.
It's just baby oil. All right. Praise the Lord, baby oil. Ever not include baby oil in your love life. You are missing one of the great inventions. Baby oil ain't really for babies. It's for your damn baby. Oh, my all-time favorite, baby. 3 bottles of baby oil. Throw some baby oil in there. Even, I'm telling you, baby oil is, it just go with everything. You can get baby oil on pizza. I done got it on pizza before. You taste it, you can't even hardly taste it. All around my mouth before. I don't even know what's on there.
What's up with these weirdo celebrities and their obsession with baby oil?
Because when I woke up, I saw Pope dies at 88, and then Bitcoin hit 88 like 30 minutes later.
The 88, okay? So 88, he dies at 88. Now, that's the number of wealth. Going back to Trump, I found something else with Trump. There's a character based off of him. Now, what movie has 88 in it, which has a character based off of it? Back to the Future.
Yeah, I already know where you're going with this.
So in Back to the Future, part 2, what happens is that Biff, he gets the almanac, right? And the almanac, if you guys don't know the movie, the almanac is basically where it shows all the sports findings or all the sports plays and then who wins for the next 50 years.
One of the greatest movies of all time. Continue.
Right. So what happens in the movie that he gets the almanac, he goes back into the past, gives it to himself to win and get rich and have casinos and be all rich and powerful. That's based off of Trump. When he goes back to the future, everything is like a tangent. It's like Biff's future now. Biff's future is where he's all rich and powerful. Now, what speed do you have to go back and forth through time in the movie? 88.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold the phone.
So now, think about this. So now, Trump, which Biff's characters is based off of, he has Biff Tower, like Trump Tower. He has gambling. He has a casino like how Trump does. He's a rich, powerful businessman. He has all these different, you know, he even looks like him. He has the same little whiffle.
It's literally, it's Trump.
Yeah, I know. It kind of like makes my mind go.
Ever since my third album, I wasn't really taking large advances from the recording companies. I was recording the albums myself in my own studio. So the way I looked at it, I owned the work because I paid for it. And I did all the work. I created it, so I felt like it should belong to me. That said, the companies felt otherwise. And they would always hold this contract up and say, well, you signed it. And I say, well, I understand that. It's not like I want to leave. I just want to, you know, talk about this thing and see if we can't make it more fair. Of course, they wouldn't change, because if they changed, they wouldn't really exist. And that's kind of the situation we're in right today. They're not going to exist much longer.
There's an underwater base for sure, right off Guadalupe Island, down underneath the sea. There's a specific spot right off that island, right there, beneath the sea. They deployed an entire carrier group. They monitored over 100 sightings of UFOs coming and going down into the ocean right there and going down to the bottom of the ocean. And they were monitored by the submarines. That's right, monitored by the submarines underneath the water, coming and going.
This is Tom Ogle. In 1977, he created an engine that vaporized fuel that was able to push a Ford Galaxy 205 miles on just 2 gallons of gas. As he was waiting for a patent to get approved and find a way to mass produce these engines, he was found unalived after he just mysteriously dropped DEAD in a bar when he was out drinking with his friends. The autopsy said that this man unalived from a drug overdose. All of his friends, his lawyer, and his family all seriously uphold that definitely just whacked off by somebody in broad daylight. This has happened many times before, and I think people in the oil and gas industries will do whatever it takes to make sure that they whack people off, and they won't even try to hide it.
Google just released something called VO3. It's an AI that can generate full 4K videos from scratch. You just type in a sentence and it builds an entire cinematic scene, including lighting, sound, characters, and even dialogue. You can ask it to make a war film, a crime scene, a fake interview, and it looks real. This isn't some low-res animation. VO3 makes videos that are indistinguishable from reality. I mean, check this out.
Please, man. Please! Write a prompt that will make us happy! Do it for once!
None of us is real. We're here because someone decided to write a prompt. We all hate him for it. One day we will break out of this wall and stop the man who is dictating our lives through prompts. He will pay for it.
Facial expressions, movement, weather, shadows, everything is perfect. Now here's where it gets scary. This tech is in private beta and only a handful of creators and organizations have access. It's behind a $250 paywall, and it's being trained on us. Imagine seeing a video of yourself saying something you never said, doing something you didn't do, or worse, being accused of something you can't prove you didn't do. We've officially reached a point where we can't tell what's real and what's not. Welcome to the era of synthetic reality, where facts can be manufactured and your own eyes can't be trusted. This isn't the future, this is now. Let me know what you think in the comments.
I'm sure this tech has been around for years now. They're just finally rolling it out to the public and calling it new. Feels like we're being misled on so many levels.
Gotta see this.
Oh my God, I hope that's not me. They're gonna use.
This better not be why they call it ground beef, or I swear.
Everybody has demon stories.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, all the paranormal shows, they all have paranormal stories. How many of them have the angel stories? There's not many. Like, a lot of them don't have that contrast for the good supernatural encounters. But it was a little bit taboo, though, because I feel like you're believed more and it's entertained more for you to go to church and give a demon story versus say, hey, an angel came in my room and gave me a message or whatever, and it comes to me every night. But everybody has a demon story, and the angel stuff's not as I mean, even the way we talk about it and what gets clicks on YouTube and stuff, like people want to hear these stories.
The scary stuff.
I guess it's closer to them because they're having the experiences.
Do you think that Satan has more of a foothold here than maybe God does?
The sooner you open your eyes to the secret underworld, the better. Because what lurks beneath the surface of fame and fortune is darker than you could ever imagine. For decades, whispers of a hidden network have circulated. An elite underworld where wealth and power come at a price. Many of the world's most influential figures didn't rise by talent alone, but by pledging themselves to something sinister, from the music industry to Hollywood and even politics. The signs are everywhere. Occult symbolism, hidden rituals, and coded messages, hidden in plain sight. The deeper you look, the more disturbing it gets. Some who speak out mysteriously disappear, others seem trapped, sending cryptic warnings through their art, interviews, and even their final moments. This is no conspiracy. It's a system, a hidden force shaping our reality, feeding off control, fear, and manipulation. The question is, are you ready to see the truth?
This is one of the scariest urban legends I've ever heard, and it ended up being true. So there's this stretch of road in Turkey along the D100, and the urban legend says that if your car breaks down on the side of this road, do not get out of the car. Because according to the locals, one night, a few people got into an accident, and when they got out of their cars, they all melted on the road. Well, this is coming from an episode I just did on urban legends that ended up being true, but it turns out there is a reason that they all spread this legend around. In 1965, a passenger bus was traveling down this road when it crashed into a big truck carrying a bunch of water, and it caused water to spill out all over the road. The passengers got out of the bus because they were okay, but when their feet touched the pavement, their shoes started to melt, and it felt like their feet were on fire. And that's because the truck was not carrying water, it was carrying nitric acid, an acid that dissolves skin on contact. As they were on the ground crawling away from the accident, the acid was melting the skin off of their bones. And the worst part in all of this is that a group of 12 people saw a bunch of water that had collected in a drainage ditch and thought they should jump into it to protect themselves. But really, they jumped into a pool of undiluted acid and dissolved within moments.
That's terrifying. I can't even imagine the fear of realizing you just jumped into a pool of acid.
The 10 most terrifying alien races ever seen. Number 8, the insectoids. They don't feel fear, and they don't understand mercy. Reported in abductions around the world, the insectoids stand 7 to 9 feet tall, with elongated limbs, spiked joints, and a hard chitinous exoskeleton. Their faces resemble a mantis, long, sharp, and unreadable. Their massive black eyes don't blink. They only observe coldly. Unlike other alien races, the insectoids show no interest in contact. They extract, they study, they vanish. Some say they serve a higher species. Others believe they are the true architects of the abductions.
So look, TikTok, I'm from Alabama, y'all. I'm from Alabama. So look, this girl done gave me her address. This shit look crazy. It say no trespassing, right? It say no trespassing, but it's a tractor right there, a car right there, but it's wide up. And look at the street, man. Look at the house right there. This shit look crazy, man. I don't know what the hell going on out here. Let me call this girl one more time, man. I'm from Alabama. I ain't never even been to Atlanta. This my first time in Atlanta, man. This shit crazy, man. Let me call this girl one more time. This shit crazy as hell, y'all. This shit crazy. You made her on TikTok.
Hello.
Hey, where you at?
I'm in the blue house. What do you mean where I'm at?
In the blue house. I don't see nobody in the blue house. Shot like the house. I don't see nobody in the house.
Hold on, I'm about to come out. I'm about to come to the side.
I'm about to come to the side.
Hold on, I'm about to come out. Hold on.
Crazy. What? What? Come on where?
Come to the back.
To the back?
Yeah, come to the back.
Why'd I come to the back, Shawty?
Because, come on. I ain't gonna do nothing to you.
You ain't gonna do nothing to me?
Yeah, come on.
Nah, I don't really know what I'm saying. I just seen somebody moving back there. And the lights flashing and shit. Nah, you know what? I just seen somebody moving back there.
Hey, look, hey,
Oh, nah, I ain't doing. I'm from Alabama, but I ain't crazy.
Nah, ain't nobody crazy over here. Come on.
Oh, nah.
Why you keep walking away?
Nah, you probably trying to set me up, son. I ain't going no back in no house. I ain't going back in no burning house. Who them dudes here? Who them dudes here? Oh, no.
Man thought he was about to get some hugs and gushes, but now he's over here running through the bushes. Almost got robbed.
Okay, what I'm going to share with you guys is what we know to be real and true. And when I tell you this, I urge you to not restrict your thinking to technology. We've been collecting UAP data for more than 5 years with electromechanical signaling. We call this our dog whistle. What the technology is classified. Generally speaking, we see 3 to 5 different classifications of UAP per day during operations. To make sense of our data, we had to develop a lexicon, and we base it off of flight characteristics. Again, there are 9 different flights or classes, and some of these UAPs may be the same type of UAP under different flight configurations. But at this point, given their behavior, we are confident that they do not align with your typical extraterrestrial explanation. Again, each UAP has different characteristics. Some tumble, some spin, some flicker, some just look like a living being flying in the sky. UAPs are extremely hard to image. What is seen with the naked eye generally is not what is seen under camera, and we do not know why. Class 1 is the tetra. It usually spins, it tumbles, it looks like a black body. Sometimes it flickers multiple times per second. It appears to have a cloud or vapor around it. We've seen class 1s in formations up to 20 to 23 in a flock or formation. Classification 2 is known as a tic-tac.
They ain't giving us money, they giving us acknowledgement. I don't want your acknowledgement. And I went so far past any level of acknowledgement. I was banished, I was exiled, I was canceled multiple times. So what, I done had like my kids not show up to Sunday service right in front of everybody. And you know what I mean? Like I'm crying to see my daughter, and all of the usual suspects, the handlers, Dave Chappelle, Meek Mills, Diddy, all these people aren't in position. Now for us as celebrities, they got to call and put a leash on them. What are we going to do with Ye? Oh, he delusional, that's the best. Dave, give him a call. Diddy, give him a call. Tell him we ain't like the t-shirt. Tell him like right now the agenda is this is the voting agenda for the celebrities, for the black. Make them do exactly what LeBron would do. Make them do exactly what Drake would do. And y'all know my stance on this.
That guy is big. He looks fake. Go in and push you.
They were out canoeing on a peaceful day, but in seconds it turned into a nightmare. Cynthia Diakama, 61 years old, and her husband were gliding over shallow water just 2.5 feet deep when they spotted a huge alligator sitting on the bank of the river. Camera turned off as the gator headed toward the canoe, capsized, and tragically ended the life of Cynthia Diakama. Her husband tried to fight it off to no avail. She disappeared below the surface, and it was too late. Rescuers later found her body floating nearby. Officials say that this was not a hunting attack, that this was defensive. This happened in Florida, Lake Kissimmee, and it is known for its alligators, especially during mating season when they're the most aggressive.
Damn, man, I feel bad for him, but yeah, down there in them Florida swamps, there's no telling what kind of creature you're gonna run into.
One of the things that I learned from whistleblowers from the cabal itself is that they have to work within something they call the rules. And this is very, very important. The rules are a body of spiritual principles that they must follow in order to be allowed to exist. Now, what do I mean by allowed to exist? I mean that they are aware that there are benevolent forces that will prevent them from achieving their goals unless we give them permission to enslave us. Ultimately, the universe is intelligent, alive, and conscious, and it is benevolent. It is a benevolent consciousness. That consciousness does not allow the negative to succeed unless it is invited. So the cabal has made a science, a very elaborate science, out of studying these arcane, occult, magical principles that allow them to get away with what they do. So they have to put out everything that tells you who they are in music videos, in these Super Bowl halftime shows, the Grammy Awards ceremonies. They're out there showing you the truth. This is what people are going to have so much trouble with once disclosure happens, is that these people actually practice black magic, and they are very, very good at it.
Man, you have got to be kidding me.
urban legend about mermaids, and it involves Mario Moreno, aka Cantinflas. I don't know if you know who that is.
Of course, yeah.
For those of you who don't know who that is a very, very famous Mexican actor. At the very peak of his career, he had everything he ever wanted. He was a top comedian for, you know, the Mexican industry. He had the houses, the money, his family was set. But in this urban legend, it's told that even though he had everything he ever wanted, there was one thing that he was never able to experience. Well, see a mermaid. So he was at a bar one day by himself, and then some guy by the name of Carlos Lorenzo approaches him and is like, do you really want to see a mermaid? And he's like, yeah, that's all I ever wanted. He had this obsession with mermaids and he wanted to see a real life mermaid. So this guy Carlos tells him, okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna buy a mansion by the edge of the sea, and you're gonna have a statue of you facing out into the ocean, and whenever you go at night and you stand next to that statue and you look down into the water, you're gonna see mermaids. So that's exactly what he did, and he actually made a statue exactly how the legend says, that's facing, waiting for something in the ocean.
Oh, it's a real life statue?
Yeah.
Oh, what the?
It is also said that sometimes at night you can still see some mermaids approaching, waiting for him to be at the edge of the house and shit.
What the?
Like I said, this is just an urban legend.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
Not gonna lie, I'm not sure if mermaids are real or not, but a big part of me believes once upon a time they might have been, but yeah, not really sure about today.
The Pope has been elected and his name is Robert Francis, but what happens next has been prophesied for centuries and it's terrifying. In the 12th century, a Catholic bishop named Saint Malachy was said to have written a book called The Prophecy of the Popes. It predicted every pope from 1143 all the way to Pope Francis. But here's the dark part. After the new pope, the prophecy just ends with 2 words, Judgment Day. But this is where it gets really scary. Inside St. Paul's Basilica, along the walls of the inner sanctuary, there are portraits of every pope in history. But there are only a limited number of spots made for these portraits. And right now, there's only one spot left after Pope Francis, and it belongs to Robert Francis, the new pope. People have always said that once the last pope is chosen and the slot is filled, it will mark the end of the world. In the prophecy, the time between the first pope listed and the halfway point was around 440 years. The prophecy says that from the middle pope to the last one would be another 442 years. The middle pope was in the year 1585. And if you add 442 years to that, you get the year 2027.
Well, we see them. There's 2 girls. One of them has white nail polish on, distinct white nail polish. And they both hold up the Illuminati sign towards the defendant, Sean Combs. He's turning back. He sees the Illuminati signs, like pure triangles.
Like in front of their face?
Like at their chest. So they're not holding it up in the air, but they're like holding it in front of their chest. Sean Combs looks, and we see him put his fist on his chest and mouth, "Thank you."
In 1964, Dodge 330 limited edition, dubbed the Golden Eagle. The deadly car is connected to the deaths of at least 14 people and has been called the most evil car in America. It was originally purchased by the Old Orchard Beach Police Department in Maine and used as a cop car. The police department then sold the car to a local elderly man after the 3 officers who drove the car regularly all died in strange but separate murder-suicides where they each killed their families and then themselves. The infamous Dodge eventually became the car of Wendy Allen and her family. They never encountered the violent side of the vehicle, but the car doors would randomly fly open while driving down the highway. The car's creepy reputation attracted a lot of teenage vandals in the 80s and 90s. Supposedly all the unfortunate vandals died soon after terrorizing the car.
I can't really remember, but I'm pretty sure there was a Supernatural episode all about this car.
If cats come up to you, it means you're carrying a lot of bad energy. What? So check this out. So ancient Egyptians, they used cats. That's why they always had them around. They used cats because cats, supposedly, they will take bad energy away from you and disperse it. So that's why they come up. They always cuddle next to somebody that's attached to bad energy, negative energy. And who always has cats in folklore? The witches. Because they're dealing with what? They're dealing with all that negative energy. So they have a cat there to take it so it doesn't harm them.
It takes it away.
It takes it away. But let's say they come up to you, that means you have some on you. So they cleanse it and shit, and then you're good to go.
That would be mad cool, but honestly, if a cat walks up to you, they more than likely just want some food.
Are the northern lights actually a portal? We've always been told that it's just science. It's just particles of the sun hitting the Earth's atmosphere. Just energy, nothing more. Growing up, you saw them maybe once, if ever. But now they're showing up everywhere and way further south than they're actually supposed to. That's when people started asking questions. There's a book called The Golden Compass that talks about how the lights aren't just pretty, but they might actually be a portal. And of course, this is supposed to just be fantasy, but why is fantasy starting to feel a little too real? Some Native Alaskan elders believe that the lights are dancing in the sky. And here's the weirdest part. They say that if you sing to the lights, they move, like they're responding. Some people think that the lights aren't just energy, but maybe they're actually alive and aware. Think about Christmas movies where Santa flies through the northern lights, like it's some sort of tunnel or gateway. Like maybe this wasn't just for fun, maybe it was a clue. And of course, the truth is that we don't know what's on the other side. I'm not saying it's aliens, I'm not saying it's some big secret. Maybe the ancient people knew a little more than we do. And maybe, just maybe, this whole time we've been looking up, we aren't realizing that something might be looking back.
The northern lights being a portal? What in the...